Burgess here with Music Marketing TV. Today we're going to be diving into the update of Baby Audio's BA-1. It's been upgraded to 1.5. We're going to be specifically looking at the effect strip. So this comes free with the upgrade. They did a couple things to the synth. There's like an arpeggiator and a couple other neat things in there. But the big portion of it is this effect strip. So if you own BA-1, go get this. It's a freebie that comes with it. So the effect section that was in there is now able to be used on anything. So I have this drop here. Let's really quick hear the drop. And we're going to be using the BA-1 effects to spice it up a little. We'll hit the measure just before so you get some context. Yep, so we're gonna go ahead and take this and we're gonna jazz it up a little bit. So it repeats quite often. There are some room for some effect swells, some sort of moments where we can be a little heavy with the effects. So that's kind of my idea here with this. We're gonna be messing with the main bass portion. There's two parts to this bass. There is a Rickenbacker sampled Rickenbacker thing going on. And then there is just the synth bass. So that's the synth bass. Where's the Rickenbacker at? There it is. That thing. And then there's some layers here as well. We're going to be focused on just one layer of the bass and use that as just an interesting starting point. Let's go ahead, pull this open, and really quick run through it. So first, resizable, always very nice. I'll go ahead and make it like big. We start off with the speaker, and if you already know BA-1, you could probably skip ahead. But we have the speaker. This makes it sound like it's coming through this itty bitty speaker. This will probably actually be very useful for what we're about to do. Could be a cool way to shake something up. We have a drive. There are two drives. There's circuit and odd. Here's what they sound like. I'll go ahead and pull them up because it's a little more clear as you move up kind of the differences. So this is odd. Circuit is a lot noisier. I like odd. I'm not totally sure what the differences are between them, but there you go. There's what they sound like. We have a filter and a resonance. I'll go ahead and pop the resonance first because who wants to hear a filter without resonance, right? And let's go ahead and turn it down. Here it is without it. And if you put it at the very top, it self-oscillates. You can see up here the oscillator is going a little crazy. Move it down. So if that's of interest to you, it is possible. We have a tone control. This is just sort of light, dark stuff, kind of like shelving filters. I'm sure there's a little more going on under the hood. Some fancy baby audio magic. There's that one. Double click to reset. And then we hit a delay. So we'll go ahead and dial up the amount here. We'll put it pretty high up here. And the length we'll leave at 0. There is a synced and unsynced version. So right now the sync is off. Here's what it sounds like. I don't think we're going to use delay here. Honestly, there's probably better audio things to use this on, like a piano or something. Just not a bass. But you get it. It's a delay. The amount's basically feedback. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to bring this back down to 0. And we're not going to really touch the delay in this one. There's verb. Pretty self-explanatory with a length control. This one is going to be kind of useful. We have a chorus as well. Another one that'll be very useful. And then we have the output. For the record, when you put this on, even in the default, when you double click it, the default is 58. It's sort of an odd number. And it will be a touch louder as soon as you put this on, even by default. So just be aware of that. Louder stuff tends to make you think it sounds better, and you just want to know, just know that you're getting a bit of a boost right out of the gate. So let's go ahead and look at some things we can do to spice this section up. To do this, I am going to first automate the drive. I think the drive and the speaker control could be interesting controls to mess with. I'm going to put my selection over this so that the automation lanes only appear in this region, and they should appear in the nested base according to the base that they go to. That's the glorious thing if you link everything up. And I also saw in the comments on some prior videos that people were confused on how to automate things via the CC. So I don't know what DAW these users were in, but in FL Studio, it's the same for all the plugins that aren't native. You simply go over to the dropdown, you click Browse Parameters, you move the parameter you want, like let's go for the speaker. It appears down here, and we right click it, and we go to Create Automation Clip. It creates the clip, and if we look, it's right there, and it's even called speaker because that's what it's called over here. So it's pretty easy. If you were having a hard time with that, if you've never done stuff with third-party plugins, then maybe that was the issue. Okay, so anyways, let's go down to our speaker control here, and I think it'd be cool to do just before this spot here. So we'll go ahead. This is just a toggle on off, so we'll just have it turn on here and then off, and let's just hear what that sounds like. Could be interesting. Let's go ahead and mix a distortion in there as well to give it just a little bit of extra oomph there. So let's go for the odd, and we're just going to wiggle this, and it highlights it for us so we don't have to go searching for it. And we are going to create automation clip, and I'm going to go ahead and pump the distortion there as well. And since this is sort of just a binary on-off type deal, I'll do the same thing for this one. And pop this in, put this down. Let's just hear it. Yeah, why not? You know, there's other layers, things that are going to supplement it, so I'm pretty fine with that one. Let's come over here, and on this one, let's have it gradually turn on, maybe a little fast, maybe not super gradual. Maybe something like this, and we don't get so aggressive. The top's kind of a lot to take in. Yeah, something like that. And let's add on maybe a verb. Let's go for the verb. Oh, man. Yeah, we might do a couple things here. So I'm going to grab them both since they're right next to each other, the verb amount and the length. And I want the amount to ramp up relatively quickly. And then on this last bit, I want the length to change up, and then we want these to reset back to 0. And then maybe we let the amount die off a little bit over time so it's not suddenly gone. I'd have to hear it in the context of the mix, but we're just setting up our basic transitions right now. Yeah, and maybe we'll also let the size go down slowly over time. Also, I haven't checked if... Oh no, we hear it on here. So it is very smooth with changes in size, which is really nice. Not every reverb does that. Yeah, and then a fade back down. I think that's kind of nice. And then let's find a spot to use the chorus. The chorus is right underneath it, so I'll go ahead and grab that while we're here. And we will grab the chorus and put it on. Well, we'll keep with the same sort of pattern and have things sort of ramp up, and then we'll have it ramp down. Maybe we have this stay on longer and just fade on. I'm liking the long version. The chorus. And have the chorus fade out. That way things are just generally evolving. So you can see, pretty fast, pretty easy. It really is, you know, you just dial up your effect, bring it in, out. Not a lot to, you know, mess with within the effects. It's just, you dial it up if you like it, you run with it. If you don't, then find another plugin that gets more specific. One other thing I didn't mention, if you click on the name, that bypasses it. Kind of a handy thing. I didn't use it here because I like to use the one in FL because that's consistent. So if I ever have something bypassed, I know where to look. But it is nice to have it right there, maybe while you're just fiddling within the plugin. Let's go ahead. Let's hear the thing with all the things turned on. Let's just see what the transitions sound like. And let's also start over here at our first transition. I'll start it at measure 20. So there you go, some real quick, easy transitions. Let's go ahead and hear it without it. In fact, I'll even use the bypass within it. And let's just do a couple before and afters. So here is a before. So that was a transition, and here it is after. This one is honestly a lot less intense than I thought because of the other layers. So let's look at another one. I think it does small things, but honestly, I think I could take it or leave it on that one. Let's hear the drive and see what that does for us. So before. We have another layer come in here. Here it is after. And it's odd, but I think the verb does it favors. I probably have to make sure I mono out the low end on this, but the way that second low layer comes in with this, with the verb hanging around, it sounds really good. I really like it a lot more with this. So this is definitely staying. I might get rid of the first move. I don't know. I could take it or leave it. This last one is just like a subtle sort of move. I bet we could make it a touch more aggressive. We could either do that by giving it a little more volume there. So I'm going to give it volume in the form of just adding a smidge of distortion. Let's just see what that does. And I feel like it could hang around at a higher level for longer. So I'm just going to bow up the automation there on the chorus. And that comes through the mix a lot cleaner, makes it a lot more interesting. And I mean, it does cause a balance change in these parts. So you have to be aware you're trading off, like if you want your drums to sit in the same pocket the whole time, these sorts of changes are going to take away from that. But to me, that is a plus. Things are a lot more organic, and you don't have things sitting in the exact same level of importance the entire time. I don't want them focusing on the kick. I want them focusing on this bass line anyways. And the drums and stuff will have these moments where they pop through even cleaner. So in these spots, they'll sound really sharp compared to these other spots. And for me, that's a plus. But if you want to, you could go through it and mix these spots individually, or there's a multitude of ways you could deal with this. But I think doing it these sorts of trade-offs are worth taking. The only move I'm kind of like about is this one over here. It didn't work out quite the way I thought it would, so I might lose those and just nah. But these last two were pretty dang cool. So hopefully that gives you an idea of the BA-1 effect strip and what it is capable of. If you have any questions, go ahead, leave them down below, and have a blessed day.